Have you guys ever watched these UFL games in the springtime? Have you ever noticed? And look, the football's been fairly good here lately. It has, but man, these crowds are sparse. I don't know how the TV ratings are going to be this week, but hey, at least it's something to watch. Welcome into Fourth and 25 with J Ram. Welcome to episode number 3. Today we're going to do a little recap of the draft, and we're going to talk some ACC ball, and then we'll close talking about burgers. All right, so before we get into those, I seen a little story that came out yesterday afternoon that caught my attention. NCAA disciplines 5 Iowa State staffers for sports gambling. Whoa. NCAA has taken disciplinary action against 5 current or former Iowa State football support staff members after they combined to make more than 6,200 online bets, totaling more than 100 grand on pro and college games, including men's and women's basketball involving their own school. Um, wow, that's crazy. The 5 were identified during a state investigation into sports wagering activities in campus athletic facilities from 2021 to 2023. They will face no criminal charges. That is crazy. So when you let gambling get involved with sports, this kind of stuff's very bound to happen. So, and it sounds like Iowa State, this ain't their first rodeo, but man, that's crazy. All right. So out of that, welcome in. Let's talk about the NFL draft last weekend in beautiful Green Bay, Wisconsin. First things first, I want to give a shout out to the city of Green Bay, to the fans, everybody that was there. That atmosphere was crazy. What a draft. Great city to host it in. I thought it was phenomenal. So, things I took away from the draft, I'm going to talk about some teams that I thought did really, really well. Let me pull something up here real fast. Okay. So let's talk about the teams that I thought did a really good job and had really good drafts. So for starters, we will talk about this team, Cleveland. They had a pretty good draft. So when they entered the draft, QB, receiver, edge rusher, running back, that was kind of their basic needs. I thought they hit a good one, starting with Mason Graham at DT, Carson Schuschwinger, the linebacker of UCLA. I thought he was a good addition. You address running back with Quinshawn Judkins, and you bring in Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. So 2 solid little young backs. I love Harold Fannin at tight end from Bowling Green. Was a tremendously good weapon last year for the Falcons. I think he's got really good intangibles. Quarterback, they drafted 2 of them. You get Dylan Gabriel, and then, of course, you get Shadur. It's going to be a very interesting quarterback room when you bring in Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shadur. And then, of course, you got Deshaun Watson if he's healthy, assuming. But all in all, that was they did a really good job, and I thought it was a exceptional draft class. And Fannin had 117 catches last year. So adding him with David Njoku, that's going to be very interesting to see in Cleveland. Okay, so the next team that I thought had a really good draft was the Seattle Seahawks. I thought they had a really good draft. They addressed some glaring needs on the offensive line, the D line, and at receiver. Gray Zabel, their first round pick, the North Dakota State guard, phenomenal offensive lineman. He has all the intangibles. I think he's going to be really good. They added Nick Amonarori. I hope I said his name right. If not, Andrew will crucify me. The safety from South Carolina. Tight end Elijah Orwell at Miami. Jalen Milroe, the Bama quarterback, was their 3rd round pick. I hope they use him in some good packages. I mean, yeah, they picked up Sam Darnold in free agency. He's their guy. But but hopefully you got some goal line packages, some different kind of things for Milroe. That's going to be interesting to see. On the defensive line, you bring in Ryan Millis, the Notre Dame DT, the tight end Robbie Outs from Bama, running back Damian Martinez from Miami. Also on the O line, you bring in Mason Richmond of Iowa, But man, at receiver, Torrey Horton and Ricky White, both really good guys from the Mountain West days. I thought those were really solid picks. This was a tremendous weekend. Um, I thought they did a really, really good job. Martinez averaged 4.5 yards after contact last year, fourth in the country. Um, I think he'll see some action as a rookie too. So, really good job by the Seahawks. My third team that I was impressed with, shocker, they are so well run with a great GM, a great front office, and they use their draft every year. It seems right. That would be the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. I was very impressed with their draft. Entering, they were looking on defense and at receiver. They got Jahad Campbell from Bama in the first round. Great linebacker. I like him. Andrew Makuba, the Texas safety. That's a good one. Ty Robertson from Nebraska on the defensive line. You bring in Mac McWilliams from UCF at DB. Smell Mondon Jr. of Georgia. Of course, the Eagles are always going to draft a defensive guy from Georgia. It seems like it happens every year. You work on the O line with Drew Kendall at center from BC, a couple of tackles, Miles Hilton from Michigan, Cameron Williams from Texas. You get a sixth rounder in Kyle McCord, the Syracuse quarterback. We'll see what happens there. He can be a good backup or somebody to learn behind Jalen. And finally, their edge rusher, Antoine Powell Ryland from Virginia Tech. Um, Philly attacked the defensive side of the ball really well in this draft, so I thought this was a tremendously, tremendously good class. And talking about Cameron Williams, potentially it could be a steal. So good class for the Eagles. I thought they did a really good job in this draft. Let's see. Next up, my number, I guess you could call it number two. But another team I thought did really, really well was Vegas. I thought they had a really good draft. I love Ashton Jenney, been a fan of his since his high school days. Great job at Boise State. Phenomenal running back. 2,600 yards last year. 1,700 of it was after first contact. So I love the pairing of him with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas. So Raiders are going to run the ball, baby. It's going to be fun to watch. They also attacked the O line, receiver, DB, linebacker was their other needs. They really didn't get a linebacker though until their last pick with Cody Lindenberg in the seventh round out of Minnesota, but he could see action. They address receiver. You get Jack Beck from TCU in the second round. You get Dante Thornton Jr. of Tennessee in the fourth round. Tommy Millard of Montana State in the sixth round. So there's three receivers. You work DB with Darian Porter from Iowa State. Offensive line, you work Caleb Rogers of Texas Tech and Charles Grant from William and Mary. They also got Cam Miller in the sixth round, North Dakota State QB. We'll see what his role is. But if I'm a Raiders fan, I'm very optimistic with this class. I thought they did a really good job addressing some of their needs. And finally, the team that I think had the best draft, and this is just my 2 cent opinion, and it's been a while since they've gotten good publicity, but I'm going to give them some here. The team that I thought had the best draft was the New York Giants. I was very, very proud of that. I thought they did a great job. You address the defensive line, you get potentially your quarterback of the future. You only had 7 picks, but on the D line, Abdul Carter, third pick of the draft, maybe the best player in the class total. You work defensive line also. Darius Alexander from Toledo. He was one of the G5's best. I had some of his numbers. Yeah, he's a do-it-all defensive tackle. I love that guy. Jackson Dart, your quarterback, your other first-round pick. I'm sorry, from Ole Miss. Hotty toddy. Could be your quarterback of the future. He's got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston to learn from. That's going to be another good quarterback room now that I sit here and think about it. Fourth round, Cam Skattebo, Arizona State running back. Love this kid. I think he kind of won all our hearts last year at Arizona State in the playoff. Dude is a beast. They work the guard position with Marcus Ebo from Purdue. You get a tight end, Thomas Fadone from Nebraska, and then Corey Black, the DB from Oklahoma State. So all in all, I thought it was really nicely done class. Um, some thought the Giants screwed up not taking Shador instead of going with Dart. I still think Dart was the best quarterback in that class, just my opinion. But it wasn't a very strong class of quarterbacks this year. Next year's could be very good. But Giants, to me, had a great draft. All 7 picks I thought were excellent, and should be. There's optimism for the future for the Giants. I can't believe I'm saying that, but they had a really good draft, I thought. Okay, so um, teams that maybe didn't. I won't say they had terrible drafts, but they were teams that kind of got some funny looks, and people, I won't say criticized them, but they weren't as well highly thought of drafts. So we're going to start with the Dolphins. Yeah, we're going to start with Miami. Entering safety, DB, DT, and guard was kind of their biggest issues. Um, but looking at their secondary, you didn't go into the 5th round with Jason Marshall from Florida and safety Dante Trader of Maryland. What kind of late to be working there? They go D line first with Kenneth Grant from Michigan. Not a bad choice. I think he's a good player. Guard from Arizona, Jonas Sevilla. Somebody's got to protect too, all right. 6th round, Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State, your running back. I hope this kid sees some action. Really good player. Quinn Ewers in the 7th round, the quarterback from Texas. I think he's got a future as a backup or a third stringer, to be honest with you. Okay, but not a horrible class. He's more of a, yeah, okay. All right, so moving on. Next team we're going to talk about is the Carolina Panthers in their draft. I think their 1st round pick kind of surprised people just a little bit because they went with receiver, but they got a good one though in McMillan from Arizona. But let's see. I think, yeah, a lot of people thought that they were going to go defense 1st round, but they did not. Let's see. Okay, you got McMillan, the Arizona receiver. You got a couple of edge rushers, Nick Scarleton of A&M, Princely, I hope I said his name right, Princely from Ole Miss, Georgia running back Trevor Etienne, Lathan Ranson from I'm from Ohio State at safety, Mitchell Evans, Notre Dame tight end, Cam Jackson of Florida DT. And you had another receiver in your last pick, Jimmy Horn Jr. from Colorado. We'll see what he brings to the equation. Okay. So the last team I'm going to talk about is Cincinnati and how their draft went. Their draft, they needed to work on defense because they spent all their money on offense. Let's see real quick. I need to pull my notes back up. Okay. So let me pull it up here real quick. Okay. All right. So the Bengals edge rusher, linebacker, safety, guard. But they extended Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That was a lot of money. You got Ty Henderson not happy. It looks like he's on the way out. Kind of a ho-hum draft for the Bengals. You go Shamar Stewart in the 1st round, another A&M edge rusher. There's questions about does he go full steam every play or is he on and off? You add Demetrius Knight Jr. of South Carolina at linebacker. Good player. I'll be interested to see what he does. Dylan Fairchild, guard of Georgia in the 3rd round. Good lineman. You got Barrett Carter from Clemson at linebacker. Good player. Jalen Rivers from Miami. And Taj Brooks of Texas Tech, running back in the 6th round. Was a good player at TT, so very excited to see what he can do. Hopefully he'll get on the field for him. He's coming off back-to-back 1,500-yard seasons, and he gives the Bengals depth behind Zach Moss and Chase Brown also. Okay, so enough with teams. Here are some players, just individual players, that I am super excited to see their rookie seasons and see how they do in the NFL. Of course, Ashton Jenney, the Raiders running back. Another running back, Caleb Johnson of Iowa. He is with the Steelers. Didn't have to change his colors, did he? So Caleb Johnson, Steelers running back. Ashton Jenney, Raiders running back. Tyler Warren, Colts tight end, the rookie from Penn State. Man, was such a treat to watch at Penn State. Question is, who's going to throw him the ball? Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones? We'll see how that goes. I talked about Torrey Horton and Ricky White, the Seahawks receivers. On the offensive line, where did it go? Tate Ratledge, who's off to the Lions from Georgia. Great lineman. Cannot wait to see what he does. Nice mullet, too, by the way, if you've seen him during the draft coverage. Let's see. Okay. Defensive side, just a couple of players that I'm excited to see what they do. Of course, Abdul Carter, the Giants. Alfred Collins, who's with the 49ers now. We talked about Carson Schwinger of the Browns. Atlanta, Jalen Walker. Interested to see what he does for the Falcons. Trey Amos of Washington, see what he does. Travis Hunter, of course. We got to see how that stud's going to do. And on the edge, James Pierce Jr., who's with the Falcons. So that's just some guys I'm excited to see how they're going to pan out their rookie season. Should be a lot of fun to watch. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will move over to our next topic, which is ACC football. We're going to talk some ACC football. All right, guys, welcome back in. All right, so on our next topic, now we're going to go back to college football, what we were mostly intended to do. All right, spring portal is closed. Portal season's done until next winter, hopefully in January. Hopefully we get a new portal calendar. So as we put a wrap on the portal, here are a couple of your rankings. This is your most blue chip commits in the 2025 portal cycle. At the bottom, tied for 7th, you got North Carolina, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Missouri, 7 apiece. Not bad. Oregon and Florida State tied at 5th, 8 of them. You got Miami 4th with 9, Ole Miss is 3rd with 10, LSU 2nd with 11, and then Texas Tech at number 1 with 13 blue chip commits. That's very, very good. Like I've been saying, Texas Tech had a hell of a portal class, guys, and they're going to have some studs. They're going to have players you would think you would see in Columbus, Ann Arbor, Austin, places like that. Okay, so, and then here is the final team rankings according to 247 Sports with their commits and their rating for the top 10 portal classes as we put a wrap on portal season. At number 10, you got North Carolina, 22 commit. I'm sorry, Kentucky. I'm sorry. I'm blind. Kentucky number 10 with 22 commitments. You got North Carolina and Bill Belichick at 9th with 32. Auburn at 8th. I think that's 19. You got Missouri checking at 7. They've got 21 commits. Florida State, it looks like 19 maybe at 6. Oregon is 5th. And I think that says 10. But look at that rating, 65.51. That's good. Miami 4th with 16. Ole Miss checks in 3rd with 28 commits, the most on this page besides UNC. Number 2, Texas Tech with 21 commitments. And the number 1 portal class, according to this site, is LSU with 17 commitments. So one thing I've noticed, LSU, Texas Tech, Ole Miss have been at the top of just about every one of these rankings. So really good portal classes for them. Miami, Oregon, too. But that's a wrap on spring practice. I mean, not spring practice, the spring portal window. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's move over to our first of a couple of conferences we're going to do over the next few weeks. We're going to hit each power conference for the next 4 weeks and talk about best coaches and conference games to watch. So we're going to start today with the ACC. So what I done was give you a list of my top 5 ACC coaches. This is just off of my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. I don't know. This is just my list of who I think the 5 best ACC coaches are. Just missing the list was Pat Narduzzi at Pitt. Pitt's been down a little recently, but to his credit, he did win an ACC title at Pitt and then take them to a New Year's Six Bowl. Okay, so let's start this list, shall we? Number 5, my number 5 coach in the ACC, Mario Cristobal of Miami. Some might say, really? Who you got ahead of him? Well, here's his coaching record at Miami: 22-16. Overall, as a coach, 84-76, just 8 games above 500, 3-5 in the bowl season. One thing that kind of hurt him as far as not from being higher on this list for me was in his first head coaching job when he was at FIU, he was 27-47, 20-26 in the Sun Belt. But to his credit, when he took the job at Oregon a few years later, 35-13, 23-9 in conference play when they were still in the Pac-12 at the time. Really good job there. Miami so far 22-16, 12-12 in conference. Multiple Sun Belt. He won a Sun Belt title, 2 Pac-12 titles, 2 Pac-12 North titles. He has 2 national titles as a player. Sun Belt Coach of the Year at 2010 at FIU, 2019 Oregon Pac-12 Coach of the Year. He was National Recruiter of the Year in 2015. So good resume, but just the only thing that kept him down was the 20 games below 500 at FIU. But he's a great recruiter, good coach. Seems to have Miami on the right track, in my honest opinion. So he checks in at number 5. All right. Moving on to the number 4 coach on my list in the ACC, we have, where's the picture? Oh, Mike Norvell of Florida State. He checks in at number 4. And yeah, I know that sounds crazy probably for a coach that had a 2-10 season last year, but still a pretty good overall track record. 71-42 overall. His bowl record's not great, 1-4, but he won an ACC title at Memphis in 2019, ACC championship, of course, 2023 at Florida State, 3 AAC West titles at Memphis. He won 4 Coach of the Year awards in 2023. Let's see. He finished at Memphis at 38-15, 24-8 in the American. At Florida State right now, he's 33-27, 20-20 in the ACC. Got snubbed of a playoff spot a couple years ago, in my honest opinion, but it is what it is, though. But good recruiter, good portal worker, still a good coach. We'll see how they bounce back this year because he can't afford, though, another 2-win season, or they're gonna be trying to run him out of Tallahassee before it's over with. All right, so checking in at number 3. This is another one that might raise an eyebrow or two, but his first season in the ACC was incredible. Rhett Lashley of SMU. Now, this is his only head coaching job he's ever had. He's 29-12 with the Mustangs. He played at Arkansas back in the early 2000s. Won an AAC title in 2023. He has a few titles as an assistant coach. Of course, last year, ACC Coach of the Year. So far at SMU, he's come out at 21-3 in their conference games. Now, 8-0 last year in the ACC in their first season, and then they lost the title game to Clemson. But phenomenal coach, doing a great job there. Facilities are up. NIL is huge there. Being in the Dallas area, Texas money, blah, 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 helps. But SMU is in great shape with this man as their coach, and I think there's just bigger days ahead for him. So he gets the number 3 nod. At number 2 is a coach who has won everywhere he's went so far in the big schools. At number 2, we have Jeff Brom of Louisville. This guy, of course, played at Louisville too, I believe, way back in the day. Yeah, okay. All right, so Where's his record? I just passed him. All right. He's 85-52 as a college coach. He was a really good coach at Western Kentucky. He had a great career, great job there. At Western Kentucky, 30-10, 19-5 in Conference USA play. In the Big Ten, he was at Purdue for 6 years. 36-34, 26-25 in the Big Ten, but did win a Big Ten West title at Purdue to his credit. And then so far in the ACC, he's killed it. 19-8, 12-4 in conference, a 10-win season. I think I passed the championships he won as a coach. Let's see. I think I passed it. Okay. 2 Conference USA titles, 2 Conference USA East titles, and a Big Ten West title. Really good record, though, 85-52. Good recruiter. He's done a great job at his alma mater. So I tip my hat to him. So he gets the number 2 spot on my list. All right. And then finally, this should be no shock, but we all know the number 1 coach in the ACC, according to my rankings, Dabo. Of course, it's Dabo freaking Swinney. He's the best coach in the conference. 180 wins, 47 losses, 12-9 in bowl games, 6-5 in the CFP, 2-time national championship coach, 9 ACC titles, 10 ACC Atlantic titles, numerous coaching awards. How many 10-win seasons was it? Let's see. 8, 10, 12, 13. 13 double-digit win seasons. I know some people don't care about that no more. It's just all about the playoff. But the job this man's done since he took over at Clemson, just insane. He's one of the best coaches in the sport, whether you like him or not. Multiple playoff appearances, just phenomenal coach. So he gets the nod there, and as he should for number 1. Okay. So with that said, we're going to shift gears and let's go ahead and just for fun, why not talk a little bit about some games to watch this fall? Because next thing you know, we're going to blink and it'll be September. All right, so here are my ACC conference games to watch, games that I think will have an impact on the conference race, playoff, everything else. All right, so my first one, September 13th, Clemson and Georgia Tech. Haynes King is back at Georgia Tech. A lot of key pieces are back for them. It's actually a good game. Seems like every year between them. Good, and I think it's a rivalry game too, if I'm not mistaken. So looking forward to that. September 27th, Louisville is at Pitt. Pitt may not factor into the conference title race. We don't know, obviously, but Louisville has struggled at Pitt in the past, and some teams struggle at Pitt. There's just something about going to Pittsburgh, and it's not even an on-campus stadium. It's at the Steelers Stadium. Okay, so the very next week, October 4th, Clemson and North Carolina in Chapel Hill. We've got Dabo versus Belichick for the first time. We'll see what happens. That should be an interesting game and a very rowdy atmosphere. Also that day, kind of forgotten, because obviously one program is down right now, but Miami and Florida State is also this very same day. Remember when that used to be the game every year? It always had national title implications. Well, not so much this year, but we'll see what happens. It could by the time we get there. Who knows? October 11th, Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. Always a good one. Friday night, October 17th, Louisville at Miami. That is going to be a huge game in the ACC title race. We'll see where Carson Beck is too by that time as Miami's quarterback. But that's going to be a huge game in the conference title race. October 18th, the very next day, SMU at Clemson, the rematch from last year's ACC championship game in Death Valley. That's going to be a good one, I think. Georgia Tech at Duke also. I made note of that being that day. We'll see how the transfer quarterback from Tulane does for Duke. But GT and Duke. So October 31st, we got North Carolina at Syracuse. Syracuse is a good portal class. We'll see how that game goes. That should be a good one. November 1st, Miami at SMU. Conference title or second place at least. Winner gets to see Clemson and Charlotte, maybe. Should be good. November 8th, Florida State's at Clemson, of course, but Clemson should win that. Clemson should win that game, but who knows? We'll see where Florida State is at that point. Syracuse at Miami. Miami is going to be out for revenge because of what happened last year when they lost at Syracuse. November 14th, a Friday night game. Clemson at Louisville. ACC loves these Friday night games now. But anyway, Clemson at Louisville. That's going to be a big game. That should have an impact on the conference title race. November 15th, we've got Virginia Tech at Florida State. We'll see where that is. November 21st, Florida State at NC State. November 22nd, Louisville at SMU. Miami at Virginia Tech. And the rivalry game with Duke and North Carolina. Belichick gets his first taste of that rivalry. So those are some big games to keep an eye out for. That'll be a big day, good day for you. And November 29th, Miami at Pitt. Miami struggles at Pitt. And then, of course, maybe the most hostile, fierce, hatred-filled ACC rivalry some don't talk about, but North Carolina at NC State. That should be fun. So that's just some of the games to keep an eye on as we edge closer towards the fall. All right. So I said this was going to be a short show today. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties trying to get this thing going like we normally do. So this show was kind of probably rushed a little and jumbled together, but we tried to make it good. All right. So finally, we're going to close with our non-football topic. Top 3 fast food burgers. Now, these are just ones that I've ate. There are a lot of other places out there that I would love to try. I've not been to, like an In-N-Out, for example. So I did a little research and did a little thinking on this. And while these burgers ain't great, if you can get them fresh, they're probably not bad. Okay. So for number 3 on my list is the Crystal Burgers. The little gut bombs that we call Crystal Burgers. If you can get them hot and fresh, they're good. If you get them afterwards, they may not be as good. They'd be real sweaty, but I love a little Crystal. Used to back in the day. I could probably put down Lord knows how many Crystal Burgers. All right, so number 2 is the King, Burger King. A flame grilled Whopper is nice when it's fresh off the grill and ain't been sitting on the heat lamp, but you can get a good Whopper if it's fresh. And number 1, as far as ones I have tried, to me, there's no competition right now. They are the best fast food burger, at least that I've had. Wendy's. And yes, I love the old school logo. Even though they used to be better when they would overlap the bun like they did. But now they're just kind of thicker, but they're so good. I don't know what it is about a Wendy's burger that I like so much, but it is delicious. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to end the show a little early tonight. We said we weren't going to go super long due to, especially now with time constraints, but I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to send us out of here like I do every time with a Bible verse. So, let's see. Where'd it go? Okay. We're going to close this thing on a Bible verse real quick, and that is for today, Matthew 6, verse 25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? All right, guys. Appreciate y'all so much. Sorry for the delay again. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will be back next week, and we will see. I just realized my fiance commented, "Hey, babe, love you." All right, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see y'all next week. Next week, we will try to be more organized and prepared. We will have a Big 12 show for you. Thank you, guys. We appreciate y'all. Take care. God bless.